guys, welcome to Tarot in the Dark. My name is Tori and I'm going to do an Alchemizing the Shadow reading. This is the week of the new moon and it's been a bit chaotic for me, if I can be honest. So I'm assuming that is probably that for the collective, and I was just called to do this reading. I'm going to do this a little different. I'm going to ask that you pause for just a second. I'm going to ding my sound bowl so we can just clear our energy. It feels like there's a lot of energy running through the collective right now, and there's a lot of confusion and chaos. There are some other astrological events taking place this week that I've heard will cause a lot of conflict and chaos within. So let's just take a moment, take a deep breath in with me, and then you can slowly breathe out. If you have headphones in, just a warning, this may be loud as the sound bowl will go off as we exhale, okay? So take a big deep breath in. So Spirit was showing me as I was playing the sound bowl that this is a part of alchemizing. Alchemizing the shadow involves pain and beauty. So there are amazing parts of it that feel really good, and there are other parts that feel very daunting, that are very enduring and self-sacrificing. And what he was showing me was that you have to find, alchemizing is about finding joy in the beauty and in the pain. It's about accepting the highs and the lows and taking them with a grain of salt, is what I heard very specifically. Okay, so this is about just embracing the journey, trusting and knowing that wherever you are is exactly where you're supposed to be. You're not supposed to be a step further. You're not supposed to be a step back, but that you're everywhere you're supposed to be when you need to be there. It's an acceptance of the things that you're not able to change and an acceptance of the things that you can change. However, there's, and I hope you can hear me because I'm grabbing cards, there's a need for self-evaluating that is not defeating, okay? That's how Spirit is showing me. It's like he doesn't want us to walk in defeat. He wants us to walk in victory, and we can only do that when we embrace the highs and the lows. When we understand that the highs and the lows make us who we are, right? Like there's no alchemizing of the energy without us allowing things to be. Allowing things to be what they are. Okay? So let's dig in. Give me one more second. I'm sorry. I know I'm doing this, like I said, different than I typically would. I'm doing this different than I typically would, but I just have to follow along with what I feel Spirit is giving me to do. Alrighty. Hopefully your energy is cleared. If you need to clear it again, you can take a cleansing breath with me. All right, let's dig in. Thank you, Spirit, for your presence. Thank you so much to our ancestors, spirit guides, angels. Alrighty, commitment. I love this. This is exactly what he was showing me. So first of all, I was seeing tons of like red colors, right? So I was seeing that root chakra energy of just grounding ourselves, simplicity, This is about just finding the beauty in the small things. Okay, this is an acceptance of the mountains that we climb, of the ripples that occur in our lives, right? So whether I'm still and steady on the rocks, or whether life is rippling along, meaning causing ripples and chaos and conflict, no matter what, I am to embrace the simplicity of life. Okay, though mountains, valleys, highs and lows will occur, there's a stillness, a steadiness. There's a consistency is what I'm hearing. There's a consistency. The consistency and the stability is what's being asked of us in this moment. And it's very interesting because no matter what's going on around the rocks, you see they could easily tumble over. They don't look like they're stacked very sturdy to me. They could easily fall over, but there's a stability that they have in the simple things in life. There's a joy. You'll notice underneath this was the transformation card, right? That's what's happening behind the scenes, is as we embrace the now. Because this card is screaming, be still, be present, be committed to the journey, committed to the highs, lows, ups, and downs. Be so committed that you're not blown to and fro by the waves of the world, right? I'm seeing that scripture in my mind's eye. Allowing yourself to be so steady and committed. And also there's a surrendering to this commitment card. Surrendering to the unknown. Surrender to the wilderness, which are those highs and lows that we are experiencing right now. You know, before your breakthrough occurs, there's absolutely going to be highs, lows, conflict, chaos, disruption. But there's an ask to be committed. And there's something here around a lack of commitment in the past. Maybe in the past things were too challenging and, we've given up too easily. Maybe in the past we've been burdened by the disruption that's been caused in going through the ripples, in going through the conflict and the chaos. And what's being asked of us right now in this moment is to stay committed to the course. Stay committed to the calling. Stay committed to your desired outcome. Staying committed to the outcome is going to bring in more than you can imagine. More than enough. Staying committed to the course is going to allow you to rise above so that these same situations, circumstances don't come up again. Something about commitment. Your commitment is being tested almost. Your commitment is, I don't want to say tested either. It's like challenged is what I'm hearing Spirit say. Your commitment is being challenged. Okay? With the detective energy, the light attributes are about great powers of observation and intuition, a desire to seek out the truth. In order to be able to actually experience and have the opportunities that you're seeking, you're going to have to see it through to the end. And this is having vision, right? If you have vision for something, you're going to see it through to the end. It's just like an artist. That's how Spirit's showing this to me. As an artist, you can start a painting today, and you may work on that painting for the next 6 to 8 months. But you're committed. You're committed to seeing it through to the end because you understand the beauty of the finished product. You understand that having an eye for each minor detail and being attentive and honoring respecting each and every detail of this. Finding, because this is about fine tuning, right? Simplicity is about stopping and smelling the roses right now. Taking a walk and seeing a caterpillar on the ground and stopping and embracing that moment. So there's something in regards to being committed to the project, which is the destination. Being so committed that you're willing to investigate, assess, analyze, and review all of the minor details, just as an artist would. The light attributes of the artist reads, expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the five senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. Wow. That's exactly what Spirit just, gave as the message there, right? So this is about allowing yourself to see beyond what it is that you feel in the moment. How can you stretch yourself beyond the moment? And again, they're bringing me back to this simplicity card and to this transformation card. How can you bring yourself back into this moment to allow yourself to see beyond what you feel in the moment, what you may see in the moment, or what you may feel in the moment, what you smell in the moment, what you may be hearing in the moment, whether audibly or inaudibly, right? How can you bring yourself back in to the present moment? How can you simplify the emotions, the ripple effect of those emotions, and how they can knock you off track, right? How they can create a smoke and a fog to cover up what you know is yours, or who you know you are, who you know you've become. How can you get around that and sit in the moment? How can you surrender to the moment? How can you surrender to the process of transformation? Are you allowing yourself to see the beauty in your flaws? Are you allowing yourself to embrace the changes that you've been putting into place? For most of you, especially if you're watching this reading, you have gone through massive transformation. Lives don't look the same as they did 6 months ago. So when you started 2025 up until now, you're not the same person. But are you stopping to allow yourself to see how far you've come, how much you've transformed? Are you allowing yourself to walk in your true, authentic self, in the power that you are? Are you seeing yourself clearly? The parts of you that haven't changed, are you okay with being committed to the simplicity that's in transformation? There's something here that has to do with embracing all parts of you. Being committed to yourself, committed to your journey. It's like a self-esteem thing that I'm picking up on right now. Like seeing yourself the way that God sees you, which would allow you to see the value in the transformation process, right? So if you see yourself the way that God sees you, you're going to understand how beautiful you are. You're going to also understand that you're here for a purpose and that you have a reason to be present. When you're able to stop and sit in the moment and just enjoy where you're at in the moment, when you're able to enjoy the simple things in life and not trying to fix, overdo, overcome, when you're able to just sit like we did with the sound bowl, there's something very transformative that happens in those moments. Something very transformative happens in those moments. There was something transformative that was taking place when we started off the reading that way. And when I get done with the reading, Spirit helped me remember, I'm going to go back and I'm going to play the sound bowl again so that we can cleanse off anything that is still holding on. It's 7:11 on the clock, guys. It's time for transformation to occur. Transformation has been occurring, but it's time to release the idea. Thank you, Spirit, for correcting me. It's time to release the idea that transformation needs to be a process that's worked on. Okay, it's like this is the time to embrace all of you, to see yourself in a new light, to transform the feelings of unworthiness. And this is because Spirit is going to put you on a path to commit to yourself. That's what's happening here. You're going to commit to yourself. Wow, the bottom deck energy, polar bear, stand up for yourself and speak your truth respectfully and compassionately with no attachment to outcome. This is absolutely, Spirit is talking. Thank you so much, Lord. Thank you. The camel energy is trust that you have the resources to get through the challenges before you. Oh my gosh, guys, this is so beautiful. I had no idea why I needed to sit down and do this, but it makes perfect sense. This is beautiful. See, your whole life you've been gaining emotions, picking up on emotions, picking up on this priest energy of having the ability to facilitate spiritual commitments and serve as a channel of spiritual energy, right? This means that you're a spiritual worker, that you've been given a specific role or a task to complete with the collective or with your community members, right? But you haven't seen that in yourself. You haven't seen that in yourself because for you, you've just been collecting bags. You know, the camels have the bags that they carry on the back. That's how Spirit is showing this to me. For you, you've just been collecting bags. What you didn't realize is that what Spirit was doing was he was storing up energy, an energy reserve. Because Spirit knew that when you were going through this massive transformative process of, I'm hearing the last 2 to 3 years, Spirit knew that you would need a reservation. You would need a reservoir. You would need somewhere to pull from. So what Spirit did was allowed you to collect these resources so that you could store them in your hump, just as the camel would. And you've stored up the resources to where now you don't have to worry about it. So I don't know if you guys know this, but camels store water in their humps so that they're not dehydrated when they take long journeys throughout the desert. They always have more than enough. They're never lacking. They're never going to be dehydrated because they store up enough in advance. And that's what Spirit is showing me, is that that's what you've done. You've stored up enough resources to support and assist you to get through this journey. Although it feels very, very, very challenging just to stop and to be present in the moment. It seems very challenging. It seems challenging because your journey has been a cold journey. Your journey has not been a journey where you've been able to stand up for yourself and operate in your full, authentic, true self. And that's because you have, in building up these resources, they've not been looked at as being resources. Instead, they've been looked at as the bag that I mentioned earlier that the camels would carry on their back. See, you've collected these resources as if they were negative things that were attached to you. So it could be your leadership skills, your ability to be able to work and have great work ethic to get things done, your ability to work when you're sick, when you're tired, when you don't feel like it, your ability to get up and go and take care of your children, take care of your parents, take care of, your siblings when you didn't feel like it. Your ability to keep going for you has been a negative thing. Okay, so this is just an example It could be anything that you have picked up on your pathway. It's looked at as if it's something negative. And it feels more like a burden to you than it does a resource. But Spirit is changing that today, because he's clearly showing that these are resources that you've been storing up, my dear. These are resources. All of that pain that you've been feeling, the agony, the suffering in silence that you've had to endure, that 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords, 10 of Swords, 10 of Wands energy of feeling like you have to do it all by yourself, like you're in this alone, feeling like nothing is ever going to change for you. 4 of Cups energy, why is my life like this? 5 of Cups energy, why did they do that to me? Why did that have to happen to me? Why is my life the worst life ever? And why is everybody else around me happy? That energy is changing, because Spirit is proving to you in this reading today that those were resources, sweetheart. Those were resources, and I keep hearing that loud and clear. Those were resources. Those were not burdens. But you've been looking at them as if they are burdens, and that's what's going to change. Those things that you look at as burdens, they're resources. They're assets to you. And it's because Spirit's going to take those assets, resources, and turn them into something magical. Okay? Whoever this reading is for, whoever's watching this, you absolutely have gifts, talents, abilities. You could actually be an artist of some sort. Maybe you paint, you draw, you do hair. Okay? You're some sort of artist. Could be a singer, dancer, songwriter, anything that has to do with the arts. Whatever it is, you could be a psychic, an intuitive, a medium, a channeler of some sort. Whatever it is, your artistry is to be shared with others to assist and support in transforming their lives. This is a reading basically about the student becoming the teacher, but the student has to accept that they are resourceful. Okay, and that's what this is about. So all of the pain that you're enduring is to get you to a place of seeing the beauty of you. You're basically the canvas, and Spirit's been painting on you, creating anew in you. Spirit is so diligent. I love this because God is showing me the scripture of, I knit you before you were born. I knit you in your mother's womb. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. There is nothing wrong with you. You're not corrupt. You're not defeated. You're not a problem. You're not ugly. You're not the black sheep. There's nothing wrong with you. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, perfected by God himself. And he was so in love with you that he knit you together perfectly, according to his plan, so that you could be exactly who you're becoming. And I love that. I love that. These cards are very hard for me to shuffle, guys, so forgive me. I just dropped them all. And I that's how life has been for you lately. Whoever this reading is for, that's how life has been for you. Okay, that's the mountains that you've been climbing by yourself. Okay? Feeling like you can be stable one second and knocked off kilter the next. It's constant ups and downs for you. Constant chaos and conflict. And you're just wondering, when is your peace coming? When is your peace coming? And you're being challenged to stay committed, because the process of transformation does not occur overnight. It does not occur overnight, but you're already blooming into this butterfly, and I think you're just not seeing it. You're just not seeing it yet. The rabbit, too much concerns with sexual matters. The knot, unsuccessful plans. The stork, news of a birth or a new business opportunity. And the feather, someone you know is undependable and insecure. All right. The nest. An emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. So this has to do with your commitment to yourself, guys. The commitment to self. Some of you have been promiscuous, and your promiscuity may be birthing children with this rabbit here. Rabbits tend to procreate in abundance, right? They tend to have multiple babies. Some of you have felt like these things were baggages for you. So sexual matters, you could have been promiscuous. Like I said, maybe had children that you didn't want to have. Your plans didn't go out as, things didn't work out as planned in life. Maybe you expected that you would be married with children at a certain age. Setting expectations, and those things slip through the cracks is what I'm hearing. These are all things that have been taken on as baggage instead of resources and assets to you. The stork too, this also makes me think of children. But some of you attempted to start your own business, maybe as an artist, a freelancer, or something like that, and things didn't work out for you in that arena. With the feather hair, someone you know is undependable and insincere. You feel like you have been given people in your life. Family members is what I'm hearing for a lot of you. Parents is what I'm hearing for a lot of you. Spouses, partners, relationships, and those people have been unreliable. Okay? For some of you, you feel like you were dropped as a child, like somebody just said, I don't even want you. Okay? I'm seeing that clearly here. It's almost like for the individuals who this reading is for, you feel like you can't see the forest through the trees in life, right? You have no clear vision, uncertain and unsure as to where you're going. And as of lately, you're feeling that even greater. It's like, I really don't know where I'm going. And it's important to you that you have security. Okay, this is a lot about security. It's a lot about safety. It's a lot about your needs being met. Oh, wow. Home. This is, guys, this is awesome energy for Cancer season, because this is exactly what Cancer season does. It brings us back to the home within. Okay, that's the safest place that you can be, is within your own home. And I'm not talking about a physical home. I'm talking about the home of the body that you reside in. The body that is the resident of you. That's the safest place for you to be. And what Spirit is doing is calling you back to your roots. Get back to the foundation. Get back to the basics of who you are. And this is done, this shadow work is done to address and assess the energy of the moon. Those subconscious thoughts and feelings, ideas that hold us back from allowing transformation to occur. One thing that is being brought to my attention is, if we don't allow ourselves to sit with ourselves, there's no transformation that occurs. And what Spirit is showing me is that for some of us, I'm going to say us, guys, because I too have these same things. So I'm going to say us from now on. I don't want to separate us. There's no separation. God is giving me messages for us. Okay? It is not ever about this being you and pointing the finger. This is for us. What Spirit is showing me clearly is that for some of us, we've been too busy with life that we have not stopped to sit with ourselves. And our commitment is to so many other things outside of us, right? It's like there's so many distractors going on, so many things that create additional baggage, so many things that weigh us down that are outside of ourselves. And Spirit is trying to bring us back to home, which is within you, so that you can feel safe within yourself. Now, when you feel safe within yourself, then you're not relying, waiting, or dependent upon anything or anyone else, because you don't need them. You don't need them. You recognize that you have everything that you need. You recognize that you have everything that you need within yourself. This is so interesting. These two cards were on the ground. The hand, in need of help, assistance, and guidance. And then the basket, recognition, reward for merit. Yeah, I love this. I love this. There's a renewal that's taken place with this Pluto energy here. This is about transformation. This is Scorpionic energy, and it's about endings, beginnings, evolution. It's about revelations. It's about gaining information. Look, you notice it's highs and lows. There's a renewal taking place within us right now. And that's where these feelings of kind of instability come from. For some of us, we've been feeling extremely unstable, knowing and anticipating and expecting. I'm seeing the High Priestess, expecting that something great's going to come in and change for us. Maybe not knowing exactly what, but knowing something's got to come. Something's got to come. Or something's going to come. You could just feel it, but not sure when or how. And Spirit wants you to go home first. Spirit wants you to be safe and dependent upon Him and yourself before anything comes in. And this goes back to being committed to you first and foremost. You cannot be good for anyone else if there's no commitment to the self first. So Spirit is asking that you commit to the project of yourself. Imagine, like I said, that you're the canvas. Commit to bringing that canvas into complete beauty, okay? Whatever you see beauty as, ensure that you feel beautiful and safe within yourself, recognizing that you are home, okay? You are home. I love this. This is such confirmation. I love this. The bottom of the deck, this is clinging to the past. This is the Five of Cups energy. For a lot of us, the past has been holding us back. The past has been holding us back. The past has been holding us back because the past is the source of, it has been the source of our inspiration. And instead, the inspiration needs to come from within. There's no one or nothing outside of you that is going to be able to spark hope and ignite a fire within yourself. Nothing and no one is going to do that like you can. This is amazing. This is amazing energy. It feels to me like the past has been very gossipy and chattery about you. The past has put you in this state of suppression, right? The past has suppressed you. The past has tied you up and kept you bound to its destruction, to the storms and chaos of life. That's what the past has done. It's suppressed you because the past didn't want you to rise to the ability to be able to transform into this existence energy here. The past did not want you to celebrate yourself, to celebrate your successes, your victories of just being you. The past didn't want you to enjoy life. Instead, the past wanted to suppress you, and clinging to the past is keeping you suppressed. It's keeping you suppressed. It's boxing you in, and it's actually preventing you from being able to see the glory and the beauty of who you are. Because it's blocking your vision. The past has nothing to do with where you're going, and it needs to be released. There needs to be an ending of this suppressive energy. There needs to be an ending of the pain, releasing the past by simply allowing it to be what it was and finding a new existence in now, the stillness and simplicity of right now. In order to get to this existence, there's an ask that you tap into your emotions. This is the Three of Cups energy of celebration. Celebrate the emotions of right now. Celebrate what you feel right now. Celebrate everything in the moment. Remember, that's what Spirit was saying earlier. Celebrating the highs, the lows, the ups, the downs, the ins, the outs. Finding a reason to celebrate every part of it, every part of the journey, finding a reason to celebrate. And that's going to put you in a state of pure existence. And when you see you're in this existence space, this is home, guys. Look at this. This is home. Okay? This is home. This also puts you in a state of receptivity, which is that yin energy, which allows you to bring in what it is that you desire, because there's no forcing. She doesn't even care if her butt crack is showing. That's how simple life is for her. She's simply basking in the fact that she's sitting on life and she's resting wherever life has her. She's present in the moment because she knows that there's nowhere else to be but in the now. There's no rushing. And you'll notice that all of the stars around her are lit up. And it's almost as if they're coming towards her. They're being drawn to her because she is the light. Simply existing is being the light. And this existence will call in celebratory energy. It'll call in recognition and rewards for your merit, for your hard work. It'll call in new business opportunities, births, abundance. Part of this is simply saying, I need help, asking Spirit, asking the Lord, asking the Holy Spirit, asking Jesus, asking your spirit guides, your ancestors, whoever you want to ask, whoever you feel safe asking, ask for help. Raise your hand, surrender, throw up the white flag of surrender, because that's what she's doing in the commitment energy here. In the commitment card, she's saying, I can't do this by myself. We were talking about that suffering in silence earlier. I can't do this by myself, Spirit. I need help. I need help. The Hangman energy. This is the 5 of Swords with conflict and defeat. Suffering and silence is the 9 of Swords. Sacrifice is the Hanged Man. Triumph with strength. I love it, guys. Look at how you're overcoming this. Look at you bossing up. Yes. Boss up. Okay? I don't know why I'm hearing that. I'm a diva. Beyonce. I don't know why, but I guess that's the boss energy. You are. You're deserving of the best life. I love this. This is the Wheel of Fortune, guys. Look at how Spirit is transforming the energy of you just by you simply putting yourself first. This 7 of Swords card here is all about deception and envy, and I love how shadow is underneath it with fulfillment of wishes. I love this. This is fantastic. The shadow card is the Moon card. Okay? In order for you to get home, we talked about this earlier, you have to address the subconscious energy, which is the shadow self. And it's the shadow, alchemizing the shadow. That's what we're doing this reading on, right? Shadow work is all about befriending your little inner child. Instead of making it seem like it's negative, it's not supposed to be here, you're always whining, ruining my life, you have all these demands, you act out. Well, the inner child is only acting out because you're not giving him any attention. The inner child is crying out. It's literally an infant baby saying, help me, rescue me, fix me. I had a situation happen with my mom and dad recently, and I was triggered. And I told my mom, I'm like, that triggered me, but it triggered me because I need to heal it, Mom. She was apologizing. I'm like, you don't need to apologize just because I'm triggered. And she's like, no, I don't want my baby to hurt. And I'm like, I need to hurt so I can heal this. Thanks for giving me something to do. These wounds are not coming up for us to treat them as if they're baggage. Thank you, Holy Spirit. They're not supposed to be baggage. That inner child is not baggage. So it's almost like there's an ask to release the negative connotation, the negative baggage energy that we've been attaching to the inner child. That inner child is not baggage. That inner child is your friend. Look, it's you. It's just a different version of you that needs some nurturing. So who are you nurturing? Are you nurturing the adult you, or are you nurturing the inner child you? And that's interesting that Spirit has me saying that, because the reality of it is, if you're not nurturing the inner child, you're not nurturing yourself, because there's no safety there. There's no true transformation unless you're committed to yourself. And committing to yourself is committing to both parts of you, light and shadow, right? Committing to yourself means committing to the arduous, I don't even know if that's a word, but that's what I heard, arduous journey of transformation. Accepting that there is pain in healing. It requires tenacity in order to heal. It's hard to heal. And you're going to feel defeated. You're going to feel beat up. You're going to feel battered. There are going to be moments when you want to quit. But that's where the commitment comes in. You're so committed, be so committed to yourself that you refuse to get stuck in the middle and to get knocked off into the ripples of life instead of rising above them. Don't allow the fog and the haze that comes in to trip you up, to stump you, and to stop you from rising to the occasion. That's where this Seven of Swords energy comes from, with deception and envy. The Seven of Swords energy is about trying to steal or get away with something. I call it my Scanless Tony card. It's about wearing a mask and deceiving yourself. It is a self-sabotaging energy, a self-sabotaging card. So don't self-sabotage yourself out of seeing the value in all parts of the art that you are, the canvas that you are. It's almost as if you've gone through life, and while going through life, you may have been painting. You ever painted and then you make a mistake and you're like, oh, the whole piece is ruined. Well, instead of you finding some type of beauty in the mistake, correcting it, painting over, finding colors that you can blend in with it to continue on with the piece, you gave up. You quit life because it was too hard. Because the pain of transformation was agonizing. When you were in that chrysalis phase, stuck in that cocooning phase, it was so hard in there. You couldn't move. There was no freedom. You didn't have the ability to do what it is that you wanted to do because you had to sit with yourself. But be committed enough to the outcome, committed enough to want to see the final product, that you push through, that you endure, and that you allow yourself to be purely existent in the now. Sitting on life and trusting that everything that your heart desires is being drawn into you based on the existence of who you are, based on the resources that you have. The suppression, that's a resource. It's there for a reason. Because if you didn't feel suppressed, then you wouldn't want to come out on the other side. You would have, excuse me, sorry, somebody's playing music, but you would have no reason to fight if you didn't feel suppressed. If you didn't feel this conflict and defeat, then you would never, ever, ever get from the Five of Swords to the Nine of Swords. You wouldn't be lying to yourself, telling you that you're not worth it. And you definitely wouldn't get to the Nine of Swords. Remember, 5 comes before 9. So when you get from the 5 of Swords, which is lying, defeating yourself, self-doubt, telling yourself that you are going to quit, or telling yourself you're going to win at all costs. If you didn't have to endure that energy, you would never get to the 9, which is the suffering in silence. This is when you're almost at the end. 9 comes before the 10. The 10 of Swords is finality. After the 10 of Swords, here comes truth. If you didn't get to this point to where you were suffering in silence, having anxiety, sleepless nights, this is depression energy. This is energy of feeling like life is against you, like God is against you. If you didn't go through these phases, you would never get to this introspection stage of the high priestess. This is the hangman. Maybe the high priestess has something to do with this, because you have to trust your intuition. You have to trust that you're being guided to go from the 5 of Swords to the 9 of Swords, because this is an energy of I'm not quitting. Although I feel defeated, although I'm in constant conflict, or conflict arises, once or twice a day, I'm still going to push through. Although I'm suffering in silence, no one can see my pain, no one can hear my pain, no one feels my pain. I'm suffering in silence. However, there's something in me that screams, things are going to get better. That's the hangman. The hangman chooses to sacrifice the way that he wants to see things so that he can see things in a different light. He chooses to sacrifice his old way of thinking and transition it into a new phase of thinking. And that's exactly what's happening here. It's interesting though, because what's happening with you is that you're allowing yourself to be present in your emotions. You're sitting in the rain, sitting in the agony of life, sitting with yourself. You may be doing this with community members too, with family members, friends. You're choosing to sit in the suffering so that you can have a different perspective. And the reason why is because you know that the wheel of fortune, that destiny is calling you on the other side of this. That is where the high priestess is coming into play, and that energy to where you know that there's a calling, right? This is also, I'm seeing a 3, so I'm seeing the Empress. This is also pulling you into the state of pure existence, which is receptivity. That's how you get what it is that you desire out of life. You allow yourself to sit in a space of allowing things to come to you. You don't need to chase because you're committed to yourself. So you understand that in my commitment to myself, I'm bringing in everything that I desire, and I will not lack anything. So all of the baggage, which is actually resources now, right? All of the resources I've collected have given me the strength here. That's what the Triumph card is. It's the strength energy, giving me the strength and the courage to endure until the end, until I get to my destined location. And when I arrive there, you'll notice that she's replicated, right? She's pausing, allowing herself to see the many versions of herself, and she's seeing herself with light. She's allowed herself to transform time and time and time again into a more mature, more heightened aware, transformed due to her commitment into where she's supposed to be. This is her North Node. And this is also gifts from Jupiter. Abundance, prosperity. When I say abundance, I'm not talking about money. For some of you, this absolutely is about money, but this is about being deeply rooted and abundant and blessed in yourself, in your own identity, in who you are, and celebrating yourself. Wow. Cannot make this up, guys. Surrender. There's a sacred desire, again, because I was picking up on that with the Wheel of Fortune especially. There's something that you desire, and it wants to come to you. It's very lively. Look, destiny under here, destiny twice. There's no way. Wow. But this is about balance. You see the yin and yang energy here with boundary. This is about balance. And look at Spirit is working with you to get you to your desired destiny. It's coming. You're going to get it. I'm telling you, the cards are not lying. You're going to get it. But this is about you surrendering to the journey. Intuitively, what I'm picking up here is with the leaves. You notice that these kids playing on the leaves are just trusting wherever they fall. They're like, wherever I land is where I'm supposed to be. And 4 + 3 is 7. 7 energy is always, to me, about resting, not resisting. but resting. You're going to pick your position and you're going to rest in it. Now you can pick the position of simply existing, or you can pick the position of resisting. But whatever you pick, surrender to that. Surrender to that. So this is like another, I love the depictions too, because look at these energies are like very similar to me. They're both sitting on leaves, but you'll notice that this leaf is alive, right? It's green, it's vibrant, it has a ton of chlorophyll in it. You can see that it's rooted, and that's how it's still green. These leaves are alive as well because they're energy, they're moving, right? This is motion. However, they're different colors. And they're not attached to any roots. They've been disconnected from their roots, but they're still able to fly freely. And so what Spirit is showing is that although you've been disconnected from your roots because you felt like your roots were baggage, a nuisance rather than an asset or a resource, you can still find beauty if you transform them into what they actually are meant to be. Even if they've been uprooted, they still serve a purpose. These leaves are uprooted and they serve a beautiful purpose, the purpose which is the exact same as the purpose of the green leaf here that is rooted in the ground, keeping its color, right? So although you could have been uprooted from some of your familial ideas or your thoughts, or maybe transitioned and lived life and done life differently than you planned out, for you that's being uprooted. But what Spirit is saying very clearly is that no, you're not. No, you're not. You're still alive. There's still energy. There's still motion. There's still movement in you. The ask is that you embrace it. Embrace it by simply existing in it. Surrendering to it, understanding that this is the process of life. It's like I keep hearing like that this is the process of sanctification. This is what happens. None of us just come into this perfection or pureness. We have to transform into a higher version, the best version of ourselves. And it is like a mosaic. It's putting together these little intricate pieces, paying attention to all of the minor details, but being so willing and committed to the journey that we allow ourselves to be wherever we're at in that moment. There's no need or ask for you to be perfect. There's an ask for you to allow yourself to be uncomfortable with the hangman there. The hangman, I always explain the hangman like the hangman is uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. That's positive and negative, because sometimes you can be too comfortable being uncomfortable that you settle or that you stay stuck in situations. But here it's like, no, be uncomfortable with being uncomfortable, understanding that that uncomfortability is providing you with resources that you need to be able to endure transformation, which is living life. Transformation is never going to go away. We're constantly transforming. We should be evolving and becoming better versions of ourselves, but it requires that we move beyond those five senses as mentioned in that artist card, and that we tap into the detective energy so that we seek out the truth in all things and really, really assess with observation and intuition rather than thinking, oh, I'm in the wrong place. Oh, I can hear this. It doesn't sound right. I'm not going to make it anywhere. I'm going to suffer for the rest of my life. No. Those are all lies. Oh, I have too many kids. My job didn't work out the way it wanted to. This business that I started failed. That doesn't mean that it's over. You have to find life in things that may have been uprooted. Find the beauty of things that have been uprooted. I hope this makes sense. The way the Spirit is explaining it to me is very interesting, but it makes perfect sense to me, but I hope it makes sense to you guys. Let me read this surrender card because I don't want to carry on for days. Okay, surrender. I'm going to hold it up here. Hopefully you can see and you can take a picture if you like. I'm not going to read the entire thing. I'll just read the invitation. Each time we surrender to what is, we are more at ease. This card invites you to check in with your relationship to surrender in all aspects of your life. Are you like one of these children, enjoying the ride, playfully riding the winds? Or are you worried about the landing and a potential catastrophe? Does the fearful mind conjure up dozens of worst outcome scenarios? Or can you stay right here, right now, in the experience of joy and weightlessness? Neither of these ways of thinking is better, but one is more pleasant than the other and more expansive. We don't know what lies beneath these floating leaves. There could be a huge pile of soft pillows ready to welcome the trusting children. Do our worries construct what is needed for us to feel safe? This card reminds us that we can only control our attitude and point of view. We can choose to take this next breath with apprehension and fear, or with presence and ease. I love this. This is so beautiful because that's absolutely what the message is about. To simply surrender and to exist, allowing the transformation to occur in life as it naturally will. It's naturally occurring. It's going to occur whether you surrender to it or not, right? Whether we exist and see ourselves as being resourceful enough to endure this or not. Life's going to happen. It's going to happen. But it's like, how do you want to feel in the process? Because I'm feeling a lot of tension all of a sudden in my neck and my shoulders. And that typically is indicative of carrying emotional weights and burdens that don't belong to us. Sorry, guys, my voice is going away. It's all a matter of perspective and how we think and feel about life and who we believe God is to us and who we see ourselves to be. Be committed to this journey because you are transforming, and there's so much beauty in the canvas that you've been creating. The work that you've been putting in is creating a masterpiece, and for me, I see it looks beautiful, but you have to believe that for yourself. Okay, so I'm going to get 2 of these cards and then we will close out the reading. Divine timing is at the bottom of the deck. The divine brings things in the timing that we need. Nothing comes before we're prepared, nor leaves too early. May I always trust your perfect and holy timing, dear Lord. Surrender to the process. For a lot of you, I do think, and I like I said, I heard astrologically that there's something going on this week. I do think that there's the new moon in Cancer that could possibly be having a lot of people feeling discombobulated and kind of confused. Something else, I forgot what somebody said. Go watch an astrologist like Lori Lothian. I love her. Or you can watch MJ on Soulful Revolution TV. That's Auntie MJ. But you can watch either one of them. I watch them and they're great. But I don't remember exactly what it was. But something is going on this week that will potentially leave us feeling confused. And that's how this feels to me. It feels like a lot of you are waiting on some manifestations to come in. Definitely money. And the other part that I'm seeing is maybe a love relationship, or maybe trying to birth children even is what I'm seeing. But no matter what, trust that it's coming to you, but it's coming to you in God's timing and not your own timing. The cards that came out were positivity and direction. So positivity reads, if you can find even one thing to be grateful for, it will restore you to the light. Please, dear God, let me always feel gratitude for something, even a tiny thing, in even the hardest situations. Wow, this is awesome. When you go outside, when you see yellow birds or bees, just know that that's spirit just giving you a heads up to, hey, remember to be positive because good things are coming to you. Okay? Be grateful in all things. The direction card here says, Lord, please show me the right action right now. Please bring a sign and a miracle that gives me clear direction. May I hear the promptings of my own body. And if for some reason I'm about to head the wrong way, please stop me. This is awesome. This goes back to using your sixth sense, which is your intuition, not trusting those 5 senses, but using the sixth sense. As you observe, you use your intuition to seek out the truth and trust that you have enough resources not baggage. You have enough resources to assist and support you in making the right decisions. I hope that this resonates with you. This was a very beautiful reading. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, ancestors, spirit guides, angels, for allowing us to come into your presence. And let me just do our sound bowl because I almost forgot. If you have headphones in, just heads up, this may be loud. I'm going to just clear our energy. And we're going to release any need to control. We're going to surrender. Alrighty? Loud noise. God bless you all. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good night, and I'll see you next time. Bye.